Welcome back, everybody, to Your Little Castle Show. We literally, I love what I get to do because I get to talk to business owners who literally will share their most valuable information just because we like to help people, right? Is that fair to say, Kevin? Part of the reason you wake up every day is you like to help people.
I like solving things that others couldn't solve for folks. I like, call me the hero of the day, which is weird for a sewer guy, but yeah.
Well, I mean, people don't realize. I wanted to emphasize with that. Watch the whole first show. We just did a half hour with Kevin, and he's got so much here. We didn't even get to the equipment. He's going to show you some of the old stuff, some of the new stuff, what works, what doesn't, what works better, what he still has to use sometimes, right? And in that interview, I also had a clip where I went out to his truck. He came over to my house, and we met there, and then showed all the stuff he's got in his truck. How does this stuff work? Why does it? This is not a do-it-yourselfer job 97% of the time.
No. I don't recommend people to try to do it themselves. I mean, you can go out and rent a machine. It's not going to be a very good machine. It's going to be an old machine that 100 people have used, have torn up, beaten up, broken, everything else. It's better to call a professional, that's for sure.
All right, so let's get into that a little bit. Normally I'd get through question 8 on a half hour. We got through question 5. Because Kevin's very knowledgeable. So question 6, here we go. Let's do a little cost analysis real quick.
Sure.
Give people, if you would, the quick breakdown. What is it that they should expect to spend and why? Because they can save money and do it yourself and whatever. They got these roto things. I've done some of that. Like I said in the video, it was a gal, she and I were at a point where we were kind of breaking up, and she had her own place at that point, and she had a problem. So as a nice guy, I go, I'll come over and help it. I'd never done sewer stuff before, but I can figure it out. My dad had done some stuff because we have a cabin, whatever. You can practice this stuff at the cabin, right? Don't practice it at your house. You might not be able to use your house. You cannot use your cabin because you do that part-time a year, but at your house, you don't want to do that. So I go over there, and we're doing the snake thing down the drain and all that. I'm getting this very bad smelling stuff all over me, but she was a nice person, so I would help her anyway, even though we broke up for final after that. But anyway, not because of this, just because we both kind of like saw the world a little differently, whatever. Anyway, so she ends up with that situation, moving on. But literally, I mean, how much were we potentially save? She, I think, figured out there was a tree that had grown underneath there, and there was a lot more work that had to be done. At least to get it done right, you can kind of hack your way through this and get it to work a little bit, and it'll drain not nearly as well as it should. And what are people doing to themselves?
A lot of times when it's tree roots, because what you may not know is your sewer under the house is 4-inch, jumps up to 6-inch outside. Well, when you're working from the interior plumbing, you can only run a tool in there that'll fit inside the small pipe. Well, you're using that same small cutter to clean the big pipe. Doesn't work that way. You pop it open, it'll drain for a while, and then it's just going to stop up. Price-wise, we start at $225. That is for your interior branch line drains, your kitchen sink, your floor drain, your laundry, your tub, your toilet, lavatory, things like that. Most of the times we use what's called a jutter to clean out your drains. It's high pressure water. Sometimes that's not feasible because, I can't go up onto your second floor lavatory and jet out that line. It doesn't work. So we still have small cable machines for those situations. But starts at $225. If we do your main lateral for your house, that's when you flush your toilet, you take a shower, floor drain kicks up in your basement. That's your main lateral backing up. That's $375. But what you get with that is you get the high pressure drain cleaning, which does a much better job than a cable, and I'll demonstrate the difference here in a second. But also run a camera in there behind that. What a lot of other companies will do, they'll run their standard cable in there. Like I said, it'll let the water go down and everything. But then when it backs up again, they'll try to sell you on a camera, and they make hundreds of dollars more, if not more than that, because now they're selling a TV job. That's included in the $375. You get not just your drain clean, but you get it televised and proof that it's clean.
Televised not to be on TV, but for their viewing purposes privately to see what's actually going on.
Right. You get I get the word colonoscopy a lot when I do it.
I've seen the video, yes.
Yeah. So, but I mean,
a little bit on his.
But you get a peace of mind. Now you know it's clean.
Over here. Let's show you that real quick. That's the website, everybody, and here is the TV wall number 2, and what looks like you might go into somebody's.
That was
but but take a look at a lot of the information Kevin has on his website and on social media. I do want to, now while here, Kevin, I had to interrupt you, not on purpose, not because you were talking about something important, but the website here too, everybody. Lots of great information here. Take a look, River City Sewer and Drains, and there's his truck. There's lots of great stuff and all kinds of information here that I strongly advocate you learn from. This interview, and maybe both these interviews, will be up on his website here, hopefully on the front page shortly, because this is how you really get to help people understand what you do. And so all the products and services you see he does there, service areas he's talking about, even some coupons you've got, and then who we are, and contact us. So all the information you would ever need to make sure you're making a good decision with a guy who does know what he's doing, that will do the job right. There you go. So back to where we're at here. And these jetters, I mean, they literally, the jetter, Jetter,
Yes.
right?
Some call them hydro flusher, just imagine your power washer on steroids. That's about the easiest way to put it. The old way that we would do it typically, we run one of these cutting tools. Let me put my gloves on real quick. So
Yeah. And that one you just recently painted. But
I painted it just so you weren't thinking you were grabbing a dirty tool.
all right. But Kevin,
But I mean,
wears gloves.
these haven't been used in a few years, like I said, because I almost jet everything nowadays. So
But this is some of the old school.
this is some of the old school stuff,
From
yeah.
the old fool who's so cool.
So
All right.
this is a 2-inch cutter. Get on the camera there.
Okay, and I'm gonna pull camera number 5 and zoom it in for you because I can do that here. But keep using that camera.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put camera 2 on you while you do that.
But I'm going to show you what the difference is here. So you got your 2-inch cutter here. This is your 4-inch line that would be inside your house, where your pipe comes down from your toilets and all that. This is the size of that line.
Okay,
So
so
you gotta-
go down just a little bit. I'm gonna switch to the other camera now. Hold it right there. You can see on the left. There it
Oh,
is.
there we go.
There you go. And push it up just
There
a
we go.
little.
So
Go up a little higher. There you go. And to your left.
I'm an amateur at this part, folks.
Go to your left. I can tell because it's reversed. There you go. Right there.
So-
See that, everybody?
So that's your 4-inch line
Okay.
with a 2-inch cutter. So that's what fits in there. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but your pipe outside your house is this big.
Okay.
So here's that same size cutter trying to clean out your pipe outside. All that's getting missed.
Wow. Okay.
So you're just poking a hole in there, and the thing about tree roots, they don't come in from the bottom like this. They always come in from the top and hang down. So that cutter's going right by all these roots and it's missing all that stuff.
Gotcha.
If you have an outside access, it is a better option. Now we can run a much bigger cutter.
Move to your left again.
There we go.
There you go.
This is a 4-inch. So if you have an outside access, like I said, now we can get at least a better opening, but it doesn't get it all. We're still missing that top 2 inches of that where the roots come in at, because this just spins around in there.
Might do the job though, right?
It'll get it open. I mean, and we did that for decades. And like I said, it did great. But this cutter, you may say, well, why not just run the bigger cutter from the inside? Doesn't fit. And it's not going to go in there. You can't run a cutter in there the same size as the pipe itself. So you got to run something smaller. And so what happens is you leave a lot of stuff behind. You don't get it all. When we run the jetters, here's this little nozzle here. This is good for cleaning 3-inch to 6-inch pipe.
Go down a little bit. There we go.
There we go. Our machine that's in my van all the time does 3,000 pounds, 12 gallons a minute. And this rotates. It spins around just like this, but it spins around fast. Gets a whole circumference of the pipe no matter what. Cuts roots. Of course, it does the grease, the debris, and the loose stuff. But this has the ability to cut roots, and I've cut roots out the size of my thumb. So,
Wow. Okay.
so we can run this from the inside of your home. Now, we're not leaving anything behind anymore. We're getting everything out of your 6-inch pipe that you couldn't do before with the mechanical cutter. And to make sure we got it, we chase it with the camera. And like I said, that's all included in that price at $375. And we get the whole thing. So now you're clean, you're good to go. We do a 90-day warranty, but you're going to last longer than that. I already know. As long as you don't abuse it, you're going to be good to go for a while. And then we have smaller nozzles for your smaller lines. This will fit inside of a 2-inch pipe. For your kitchen sink. We even got this little guy here. Use that for your kitchen sink too. This little guy here, I can get 4 gallons a minute out of it. 2,500 pounds, go up on your roof, down through your sink vent, or your stack in the basement even. Clean out all that grease and everything out of your drain lines.
Wow.
So,
All right.
so I mean, I'll just show this one since it's sitting here.
somebody was-
We got that big guy there for doing a bigger pipe. I got a trailer unit also. It's on our website. This will cut roots out of a line that's as big as 12-inch. Not really for your residential. Your residential lines aren't 12-inch.
Right.
But, but if you happen to have a commercial property with a bigger pipe on the outside, storm line, sanitary line, this will clean that out for you as well. So that's the big difference right there. When it comes to your standard service call with the service we provide, the difference between running your mechanical cutter versus our jetting machines.
I'm going to put the camera on me. Grab your rover thing there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He's got a rover device looking machine things like the Mars landing rover.
This is my small one.
All right. And so there you go. And that's your hat, by the way, Kevin. Hold up your hat for everybody.
Yeah.
Now Kevin can say he's been on ABC St. Louis, your little castle show, and that's his hat there. But yeah, go ahead and set it off there so you can see what we're looking at. But this thing again, I'm going to put camera number 5 on you again. And so hold it up a little bit near, a little bit.
It's kind of heavy.
There it is. Look at that thing.
Now what this camera is, it's literally a robot. It walks under itself. It's, drives down through the sewer line. This camera is for 8-inch to 12-inch. The camera head, I'll show you here real quick. This is called pan and tilt. So what it'll do,
Jump towards me. There you go.
moves up and down, rotates around.
Wow.
So when you're going down the main, again, if you have a commercial property with a large line, even some residential folks have a private storm sewer that goes through their property and they would need to check it out. We could run this in there, look all the way around, make sure all the joints are good and everything else. And like I said, this is our small one. I have a bigger one that was just, you don't want that sitting on your table. It's a big thing. And that'll do up to 72-inch. So in other words, a pipe that you can stand up and walk in. I've got a camera that'll be able to video record that and look all the way around and everything else. So
I'm like, who's Dirty Jobs?
Yeah, Mike Rowe.
Mike Rowe. I'm doing enough of this. Maybe I should call Mike and say, Mike, I'm going to do some work with you or for you or with you or whatever. But I'll come out sometime, maybe, Kevin. I had my guest yesterday, Scott Ravenscraft, said, what if you went to everybody's business after you did your video with them and did some update with them at their location and in front of a client or at their store or whatever? I'm like, 24 hours in a day, bro.
Yeah, no kidding.
I will, though. We're growing so fast here. I've got another couple editors and producers that are coming on and hosts. It's hard to find good hosts that are good in front of camera and can do all that stuff. But I've got friends in the industry and people. Angela Sharp is a good friend of mine. She's been on here. I think she's going to help us. And my buddy Jeremy Karp has been in here. And Jeremy, he's used to work for a competing station. We won't say who they were. And now has got his own thing going. He gets 700,000 people a month or something kind of crazy. He beat me a little bit. I'm like, I got 500,000 a month. That's a month, and he's getting 700.
Yeah.
But I stay kind of focused. He does every sport. I just do Cardinals pretty much. Right?
Yeah.
A little bit of Blues. But anyway, this stuff has really turned into a lot of wonderful stuff. You're good to share with the world what you do. I like to share what we're doing a little bit because, hey, call me. We might put you on the show sometime.
Yeah. Now, of course, the caller camera costs more to do that, but it's like I said, that's mainly for your commercial properties.
Maybe we'll come out there to your whatever sometime and have this all ready, and I'll just come with my selfie stick version or whatever. It's still I can record in 8K with that.
Oh yeah, I love it's really easy to use. I'll even let my son play with it sometimes. He'll sit down. It's got a little laptop that came with the system and rolls around our property. Just while I'm working on other things.
Well, that ties a lot into the question number 6 I had there. Let's do I'm zoomed in on the wrong camera there. We'll zoom that one back out here. But Kevin, tell me while I zoom out, what's the one thing? So that was a little cost analysis, really, because you're showing here's the different things you need to buy or rent.
Pretty versatile in what we have.
And what you're doing, what you charge for whatever, which is an incredible value because if your business is down for a week, that costs you how much money?
Yeah.
If your house can't be livable for how long? That's another big problem. And all these things are, and certainly sometimes, and other times, you need to spend this much when you didn't have to, or $17,000 like we talked about for that first show. But Kevin is really the guy to talk to. And we had another company. Is it okay if I mention the other guys who I mentioned to you before? Y'all,
if you like it, it's your show.
Well, I don't want it to be about you. But AJ Drain was on, and they service a different area.
Yeah, Mahoney's a good guy. I got no problem with him at all.
Yeah, those are good guys. So y'all stick together, and there's enough business to go around. But call the guys that are local, that you get to work with the owner, right, the founder. And so thank you, Kevin, for coming here to share. And we've had a number of roofing guys, a few decking guys, a few siding guys, all of them are great little local guys. I say little, like small business, less than 100 employees is a definition.
Well, it's just me. You get me.
Yeah, and that's what you get. All right, so let's talk a little bit. We did the cost analysis. What's the one thing that you feel really separates your business from the rest? I mean, we kind of went over all of that, but let's summarize for everybody here.
Biggest thing for me is I'm not a salesman. There's a lot of companies out there that hire strictly salesmen for their company. I am talking about sewer companies. They'll hire guys, they go out and just solicit the business to bring them more business. And it's like when you go buy a car, they'll tell you how great that car is. That is the most fantastic car you've ever seen. You'll never need another car in your life. And you take it home, the wheels fall off. Look like the Bluesmobile at the end of the day.
Sure.
I'm
just bought a brand new car. Brand new. I'm like, brand new car. I was trying to help her. She was busy. She wouldn't wait for me an hour. I think she got okay, but it's already got a problem.
Yeah,
and
no.
So she's getting, because it's new, they're going to fix it, but it's a hassle.
No, if you have a problem with anything I've done, you call and you get me. You're not getting a PR person or anything like that. You're getting me. I take care of it personally. And I pride myself on doing the job right and making sure the customer is satisfied and making sure that just everything is how it's supposed to be for you. And like I said, some of these big companies, a customer's voice gets lost in all the noise, of all the other things they have, going on within their shop. And that's not what you get with me.
That's what you get. The cowboy puts the Cardinal cowboy hat on when you're doing the stuff really affecting and impacting and helping the community. And we want to help all small business owners out there. Call me. We do all kinds of variations of what we do. We are a business, believe it or not.
Yeah, if I can't do the job right, I won't do it. I've had that. I've had people say, well, go through this drain to get that one open. Well, if you go through a smaller drain to try to open a sewer, you can't run the right equipment. I'll walk away from the job. It's like, don't pay me nothing. That's okay. But you know what?
Us small guys, we stick together to say, here's what you should do. Let me tell you what you should do on your own.
Yeah,
right?
I'll always be $1 million shy of being a millionaire, but I sleep well at night. So that's more important to me.
Well, that's what life is about. So many people, they're so all driven by the money. The money, do what you love, do the job well. You'll never work a day in your life, and the money will come.
Yeah.
So that's what we like to talk about. Good stuff. Write down that one now. Kevin, help me with that one. That's so true. Just take notes. You probably should be taking notes this entire show. But thank you, Kevin. All right. What's the biggest mistake? Oh boy, we've covered a lot of them here. Let's summarize again. What's the biggest mistake that people make?
A lot of customers,
what are they doing wrong?
They jump to the big companies first because they think that's where they're going to get the best service. Now, you may get a good guy from the big company, but that doesn't mean you're going to get them every time. So you'll get somebody who spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and even millions of dollars in some cases on marketing and advertising to bring you in. So they make that phone call and they come in and they'll say, okay, well, I'll cable your drain for $100. And they agree to it, they do it, and say, well, while I'm here, let me run my camera in there and see what's going on, because I felt a rough spot. Just because I felt a rough spot. Well, that's $400 on that camera, and I think you got a problem. I can sit here and I can talk you into doing anything with your sewer line. It's easy. It's not hard to do. That's some of the mistakes they make. They don't say, well, let's back up, let's take a breath, and before we go spending all this money on looking at stuff, they won't say it to them, but let me get a second opinion. And like you mentioned earlier, saved a lady $17,000 on her kitchen sink line because she got a second opinion. I fixed her sink when somebody else wanted to tear up her granite floor and fix a sink line. And a lot of people don't know. They don't know plumbing companies. They don't know sewer companies. It's like me. I don't know refrigeration. Either my stuff in my refrigerator stays cold or it don't. And I fall into the same trap. Even I'm a human being like anybody else. And a guy can come in and just ring me left and right on my refrigerator. I have no idea.
Sure.
But I mean, this is.
I got a story there. Sometime I'll tell.
Yeah, but this is not a hard business to sell things to people, unfortunately, because you don't see it. You can go to somebody's car and say, see that belt? That belt's loose. So let's spend money on fixing that. I can cable you sewer line. I said, I felt a rough spot. I think we need to run a camera. It costs you an extra $300 to run that camera. I don't charge $300 for a camera. But they do that, and people, oh yeah, let's look at it. I don't want this stuff backing up again. And then even I've seen it personally. People won't find a problem with the sewer line, but if you have a clay line, word of advice out there to everybody watching. If you have a clay line, you're going to see an offset. You're going to see a crack. You're going to see tree roots. You're going to see things like that. That is the infrastructure of that pipe. But if you don't know, you get somebody in there who's televised the sewer line. See how that pipe's misaligned? That pipe's bad. You don't know any difference. It's going to cost you $8,000 for me to fix that pipe. If you don't fix it, this is what it's going to take to do. And Those are the mistakes that people make. Get a second opinion. Even if I come out there, you don't like what I've said, and you don't believe me, feel free to get a second opinion. I welcome that, because when they say, whatever it is that they say, you can always call me back, and then let's get it right. I'm not going to lie to you. Like I said, I sleep well at night. So
well, there's been times, and you told me about an instance, because how many, and I had this happen to me. Didn't even talk to this guy, had nothing to do with the guy, but was associated with something that somebody. Anyway, he comes out and writes a bad review about me personally on the Cardinal Cowboy. I'm like, I'm the host of the show. If you had an issue with the show, talk to the show. That's still going to come to me. But I didn't still meet with you. I don't know what you're talking about here. And this guy, I'm like, and he was a friend of somebody else supposedly, and they had whatever, and they just made stuff up or didn't understand or misconstrued. And anyway, I wrote a thing to Google. I'm like, this is not even fair. Didn't even get an answer, of course. But when you're big guys, you can deal with that. But then I just said, all right, on my Cardinal Cowboy, a bunch of my friends are like, we're going to write all kinds of reviews. Now I've got a 4.9. Put that 1.
Yeah.
Same thing you kind of had happen. I saw, you talked about it. Let's bring up your BBB real quick, because that's another great resource. And you're on the BBB.
Yes.
And you're A+ accredited, which is awesome. But you don't ask for reviews there. You did have some guy who went out and found you, wanted to complain, and after you explained everything, that issue went away, and that happened to me also. I had a friend of mine wanted a website done, and I said, he wrote something up, he said that. I'm like, you could have told me these issues, but you're wrong, and I've explained it to the BBB, and they're like, never mind, you're right. I said, outlined 17 things that we did, and the guy was like, he was just...
I find it's more important to address the negative reviews. The positive reviews are great, I love them. But if somebody has an issue, I want to know why you have an issue, and I want to get it resolved. Again, I want to make sure you're happy with the server, because you're not getting an employee, you're getting me. Yeah. So it's personal for me.
It is. We are very passionate about our small businesses that we run, and quit working for my case, 3 times I've worked for big corporations that everybody recognizes the name. Anheuser-Busch, most people, that's my 10 years there. And then a couple times I went to work for guys. One case, I couldn't get much done. Found out that was a new realm, but related. And everybody was still calling me for what I had been doing. And I said, guys, I can't keep doing this. I'm not getting as fast as I would here. I would like to. I mean, they gave me a great base salary and whatever. Great company, just not my realm. Anyway, I was making more money on the side. I said, look, man, I'm working here 40, 50 hours a week, but I still on the side doing this other stuff. I got to go back. Then I went to work for a big national company. After doing a big job, the guy said, hey, we're going to do it ourselves. My mom's like, go get a job. These are things we deal with as business owners. But rather than, and Kevin, I give you kudos, because you literally have spent your time figuring out how to make this work now for 30 years. All the hoops and problems and issues and frustrations.
Yeah, now we got new things.
Like I did. I gave up a couple times. Now I'm back doing it myself.
Yeah. So now we got even a new service.
What's that?
I started a new service here too. If we can go into that real quick. We go with this.
So this is something important. Kevin, I said, be careful, don't break any of my TVs.
Yeah.
And he's doing a
so
good job.
This is pipelining that we're getting into now.
Okay, we'll do a zoom thing again. I'm going to do the camera, and I'm going to put camera number 2 on you. Hold it up there. Is that close enough? Should I get the other zoom in on you? I'm going to zoom in a little bit with that one. I'll go back to that one.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go there. So, talk about it. I'll get the other one in.
So this is a 4-inch PVC pipe. This is done in my shop. This is not an actual sewer line that was in use. So basically just broke a hole in the top of it, which can happen. Even in PVC pipe, we've had, if you go to my website, my Facebook page, I've got pictures up there of a PVC line that we actually fixed with a liner. And what this is, it's literally a fiberglass sock that we install it, and it fixes this pipe and even helps reinforce it. So this is not your typical grade pipe that you would have inside your line. This is what we call crush pipe. I can literally take, here's the other piece we cut off of here. I can take this, put it in my hands, and I'm no Hercules.
There it is.
And see, I can squeeze that.
Right.
Yeah. You know, that's why you don't use that for a sewer line. You bury that, it's going to crush.
I'll help you with this one.
Here, you're a bigger guy than me.
Well, let's put this right here. Look, I'm getting it to crack a little bit, but I ain't flexing that.
Yeah. So not only does it repair the pipe, it helps reinforce it a little bit. And in this last, from their guesstimations, 50 years. We haven't outlived the technology yet. But in case anybody's ever heard of the company in Citroform, they do big mains, things like that. And this is the same thing on a smaller scale. What's nice about the system that that we've invested in, not everybody needs to line everything in their house. They don't need to have a 50-foot liner installed and things like that. That would cost tens of thousands of dollars. I can do as short as a 3-foot piece if you only have a bad spot and you can't afford tens of thousands of dollars, which a lot of us can't. But I can put that short piece in, fix your sewer line, get it working. If you go on my Facebook page, I've got right there at the top, there's a picture where the whole bottom of the cast iron was rotted out. And right underneath that is a picture of the liner I put in. You can't tell where the hole was. It's like a brand new pipe again. And that guy's going to be good to go for, years. Now, if he gets another problem further down the road, we can address that, fix that. But when it comes to the pipelining, talk about cost-wise, that starts at $3,000. It's a little more expensive than the drain cleaning, but to dig up a pipe, you'll spend thousands and thousands of dollars. And the bad part about trying to dig up cast iron, and it's nobody's fault when it happens, that pipe is brittle. It's already rotting, otherwise you wouldn't have to get it lined. So what happens is you've got this jackhammer out the floor. Well, what happens with brittle metal? It falls apart. I've actually had cast iron in my hands, squeeze it and crush it in my hands. That's not supposed to happen. Right. So what's the nice thing about doing the pipelining is we're not doing any jackhammering. We're not, banging anything around. This literally slides in. You get it into place. We chase with the camera and everything else, make sure it's in the right place. Everything's measured. We measure everything 3 times. So we're not just, okay, that looks right. No, we make sure it's right. Because last thing you want to do is put that in there and it's wrong. We cover up something, what's supposed to be covered up, like a connection for a sink or something, then we're in trouble. So we make sure everything's right off the get-go. It sets in place, takes 90 minutes to set, and it's like having a brand new sewer line all over again. And you can, like I said, save thousands of dollars doing it.
We got a minute left here, Kevin. I want people to make sure, because we got 17 more questions I can ask you, but one here I think is really important. Tell me the process. Somebody says, Kevin is my guy. I can actively tell he's going to do the job right. BBB, 20 years in business, A+, 197 reviews, 4.9, and he explained everything, what he really does here in 2 half-hour, not 1, not 3, not 5, but 2 half-hour discussions about his business. You got now 45 seconds. How does somebody get started with you? What's the
you can call us on the phone, email, go to the website. We have a place you can contact us that comes to our email. We have an answering service. I don't have an office. I'm a one-man shop, like I said. Call you back on the phone. We discuss what needs to be done, get your appointment set up. Then I show up at your door. I look like I drive an Amazon van. So if you happen to see an Amazon van pull up, it is me. And then we go through the process of diagnosing and solving your issues. And most calls I get done in and out within an hour. Sometimes they can take longer, sometimes not as long. But I don't charge by the hour, I charge by the job. So if your kitchen sink or whatever stopped up, I tell you it's $225, that's the cost it's going to be. If we run into a snag where, hey, that's going to take a little bit more, I discuss everything before we go to that next step. I'm never going to tell you it's $225. Oh, yeah, by the way, now your bill is this. I'm not going to do that to you.
We're finishing up here, Kevin. Thank you, man. Kevin,
all right.
This guy's worth having. Get a hold of Kevin. He's the doctor, I would say. I'm going to call him the doctor of sewer and drain cleaning. Get up.